What's up, you guys? We're the Cosmic Couch Heroes,
Tanner.
Chuckles.
and we've been here and done this shit before, so we're just gonna jump right into it.
Astoria Boulevard.
Alright, start us off, man.
Alright, so
What you been on?
I actually have a character I want to talk about. A son of a new god.
What's that about?
Orion, the son of Darkseid. The first son of Darkseid.
I know a little bit about Orion. Please tell me more.
Orion is the son of Darkseid. His story begins as he was born on Apocalypse, and to broker a peace with Highfather of New Genesis, he was traded to Highfather, who would become Darkseid's son in the anime series we knew from Superman the Anime Series, stuff like that. Calabac. They did a trade. Calabac, which was Highfather's son, for Orion, Darkseid's son.
Okay.
So
That's supposed to be Darkseid's son?
yeah, that's Orion.
Yeah, that's Orion. He's a new guy.
He's a new god.
He looks like Peacemaker.
He's fought Darkseid. In later comics, he would become the ruler of Apocalypse and of New Genesis, brokering a peace between the two worlds and stuff like that. You know, he's always had his battles with Darkseid, and Darkseid never seems to win. I figured this was one you didn't know about, and you probably knew a little bit about, so I figured I'd throw him in there because I don't think you've ever heard of Orion before.
Yeah, or no, I love Orion. Orion is really cool.
He's kind of a dick, though.
No, he is.
He's
He
like,
is. That's
he's
what I
a
like
dick.
about him,
He's a
though.
straight up,
But
like...
I think in one incarnation I saw, he was actually pretty cool.
Well, that's the problem. Is like Orion has like Darkseid's type of I don't care if you live or die situation. So in his eyes, he'll lose 1 million men to stop Darkseid. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
Whereas Superman, when teaming up with him, is like, no, we can't let these people die. Orion's like, I'd rather let them die than let Darkseid win.
Does what has to be done.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Even though it's not always the right thing, because he'd even kill his own people to get where he needs to be. So I'm gonna go plug right now for Funky Town Toys because
Hell yeah.
look them up because they're really, really cool toys.
He definitely put us into some new shit. Moving on.
Kitty has the best seat in the house.
I'm not denying.
What you been on?
Me?
What you been on?
Okay. Oh, I read The Way of Z. I mean, The Way of X. I read The Way of X.
Okay.
Is what I read.
I promise you, it's not on that. Mine isn't on that.
It isn't.
I know we were worried for a second.
So it's not on The Way of X.
Not on the way of X.
So
But I'm curious.
Why?
So pretty much, Way of X is kind of about mutant kind and how mutant kind of makes their own kind of like Garden of Eden type of like, I think it's like an island strip or it's like a continent just made for.
It's for the Magneto one.
Yeah. Yes.
It's, I know
That ties in with Magneto. Magneto, he's at one of the people at the forefront of this comic, but the comic really is centered on Nightcrawlers. Nightcrawler sees something that's happening in the dark, and this, kind of really place that's supposed to be really good, he can kind of sense the darkness, and he doesn't really understand what it really means. People, they believe in like a Krakoan god, like a mutant god. Mm-hmm. And they have no basis to really know if it's real or not. You know what I mean? Dr. Nemesis brings up the theory of like, there could be your god couldn't be real. Mutants are fought like actual gods, so they would know what a god looks like, but they can't even see theirs. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of kind of religious undertones in it when you really think about it. And they also have, they actually showed a panel where Nightcrawler was kind of like, he was kind of torn up about his, what he believed, because there was like a panel where like actually Jesus was in the panel. Like he was kind of like looking through different religions. He had like a Bible and stuff. So he was definitely really questioning his morality and a lot in this. This darkness that Nightcrawler is really sensing is like a sickness, like a mutant sickness. And it affects the mutants in a weird way, but it kind of like makes them like kind of sickly and they die. That kind of like was like crazy, and like Magneto was using that as a way to like, as like a religion, because they were in like a cathedral with like a bunch of people, You know what I mean? And this is where this is like kind of taking place and stuff, and so he's using that to fuel his own kind of like religion, if that makes any sense. So in a way, Magneto is trying to like kind of steer the mutants in one way. It's an insane comic. It was a read that I wasn't expecting to have so many layers into it, and it's one that really got my it really got my mind thinking about a lot of different stuff.
I do have something I want to bring up.
What's up?
Not his thing, but a character that I want to start reading about, or characters, and I think we should all get the comic books and start reading about them. Superman Blue and Red.
Oh, I've seen that before, but I never knew what that was about.
I don't either. Like I had one of the comics when I was a kid. I don't know what happened to it, but
I wonder. So they take place in the same reality, or like, are they like different continuity?
Blue or red, or blue and red?
Blue and red.
Only thing I know about Superman Blue and Red is that when Clark Kent goes to change into Superman, he splits into two.
I see why you thought that though, because I have it right
Yeah, you had it right in the cut, so you had me scared. I'm glad I went before you though.
Did you get more comics about us?
here. No. So I decided to go through all my comics and find all of the first editions and separate them from all of the non-first editions. For the first comic I've ever read, I chose a Marvel one. I am not fucking disappointed. I was reading The Death of Doctor Strange. What if Doctor Strange died? What happens and what will the world come to? Does he have backup plans? If so, what are they? Dr. Stephen Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, has been murdered. We're still unclear on who did it. However, here's what we know. Before his death, in the first issue, we learned that Stephen was fascinated with a being called Koshi the Deathless. He's a Slavic legend. As we progress through the story, we learned that he's also opened up his own academy, which takes place in a different comic, but it's also incorporated into the Death of Doctor Strange. There we meet Doyle, the child of Dormammu. We also meet Clea Strange, wife of Doctor Strange / ex-wife. Did something weird. He decided to erase her memory and then like dip. I don't know. Doctor Strange was kind of like, I'm outie. Danny Phantom going ghost on you. And then we also meet some villains, which I'm curious to know if you know anything about the Three Mothers.
No, I don't know too much about the Three Mothers. I won't lie.
They come from a different plane. They're actually chasing after Clea Strange. So we learn about the Three Mothers and whatnot. Well, we don't learn about them. We just learn what they've come to do, which is basically wreak havoc and cause destruction. We also see a Juggernaut. And not just one, several Juggernauts, which I've never...
Juggernaut, bitch.
Exactly, actually. Red ones. Which is also kind of cool. His whole thing behind studying the Slavic legend was because he always wanted to cheat death, just like old dude did. So that brings us to our current plan. What is his current plan, and is there a plan B? Do you actually know the powers of Doctor Strange?
Not entirely. I know he just uses the eye and that he knows the arts of mystic magic.
So, fun fact, he doesn't have any. He's kind of a genius. He comprehends things better than the average person and knows how to think outside the box to solve problems. Example, Doctor Strange movie, bargain with Dormammu. He didn't use anything like any powers or anything. He just used his brain and his wits.
Yeah, all he did is put them in a time loop.
Yeah.
And forced him to make a bargain with them.
Yeah. Nothing really significant done there. That was his head. Without his head, he wouldn't have done that. Like, if he didn't think about that, that wouldn't have happened. He had magic. It was just how to utilize it. Now, apparently what he did was he took a temporary time remnant of himself like many years ago and isolated it outside his timeline. Just controlling time. So what he did was in order to, just in case something ever happened to him, what he decided to do is because he can see different timelines, he decided to take just a small chunk of his life, a week, exactly, out of his life to basically, if anything happens, get his affairs in order, or if he was ever murdered, be able to bring his murderer to justice. And so that's exactly what he did. He only had 7 days to get everything in order. While hell is breaking loose with him dead, every national defense is down. The Sorcerer Supreme maintains a barrier for all of Earth. The barrier protects Earth from other planes, the dark dimension, and celestial concordance, and so much more. My question then becomes, if he is dead, right? What you didn't see is the fact that this is the separate timeline of him.
Mm-hmm.
So once he died, even though he's dead on the floor, this is the him that's come back for that moment of just in case I die. And he's already asking, like, what year is it? What do we need to do? So long as the Sorcerer Supreme is alive, the barrier stands.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Technically, he's still alive, even though he's dead, because
But
this
if he's the Sorcerer Supreme, Doctor Strange, if he's only from a week, what time period is that from?
There we go. See, it was a question that was ticking in my head for a second.
If he's not the Sorcerer Supreme, then you're screwed.
I mean, yeah. And also the question becomes, will Strange stay dead? But there is something
It's
that
Marvel
kind of
Comics, kind of like DC. No one ever stays dead.
I'd recommend the read because the question of what would happen to Earth at that point if Doctor Strange did die, and if there's a way to stop anything, is quite the question. Well, thank you for watching. This has been another great episode of Cosmic Couch Heroes. I've been Clint, your host.
Tanner.
Chuck.
And we're fucking gonna go do some other shit. So don't worry about what we do.
This is MTV Cribs. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here, Death of Doctor Strange. Get out of here.